now we're gonna do the song. I think we got enough people here, right? We got 54 concurrent viewers. I can't believe it. To watch this, there's a truck in my field. In my field, there is a truck. On the back is a thing. Yeah, a thing is on the back. What's that thing on the back of the truck that's in my field? It's a lime buggy, buggy lime. What's the thing on the back of the truck in my field? It's a lime buggy, buggy lime. A lime buggy on a truck with a lime buggy. A buggy filled with lime, a lime-filled buggy thing. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. What's the thing on the back of the truck in my field? It's a lime buggy, buggy lime. What's the thing on the back of the truck in my field? It's a lime buggy, buggy lime. A lime buggy on a truck with a lime buggy. A buggy filled with lime, a lime-filled buggy thing. Oh yeah, yeah. What's the thing on the back of the truck in my field? It's a lime buggy lime. I can just keep doing this for an hour. Wait a second, time for a solo. Liming all the time we spread that line. Every instant is an instant where we spread that limey line. In the future and the past, spreading lime across the grass. Lime buggy lime, lime buggy lime, buggy lime, buggy lime. 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 Hey guys, welcome back. So you know it's been really hot outside, and I said I was gonna try and do some more live streams. So here we are. Thank you for making me neglect my family. Everybody's like, can you do some more? Can we have some more live streams? Oh yes, you know what? I'll just stop spending quality time with my family, and I'll work with my YouTube people. I was kidding. I had enough time with my family today. Serious. Let's see who's here. All right. We got Jennifer and Karen in South Florida Sunshine, and Faith, and Amy, and M. Knapp. The K is definitely not silent in that. Actually, Knappy, because you've got two P's on the end too. That's awesome. Monkey Food Garden. I am Skapam. Hello from Arizona. Hello. Hello, Broke Farmer, Robin Marie, Jose, Dust Rabbit, and Alan. Nice to see you again, man. Sinner number 72. You know, there's a lot of sinners. I mean, to be that early in the list of sinners is actually really impressive. That would be only probably like one generation after Cain at that point. Marker 113, Greenleaf Gardening, Trump 1, Jose, again. I think I said hi again. And Chun, what am I watching? Who knows? It's David the Good. Just go with it. Mamise, Katie, and French Fry. That's nice. That's nice. French Fry. And Lynn, Jasmine. Poetry from Poverty. Super Nerd. Grow Cactus, Prickly Pear. That's right. If you have a terrible climate, nothing will kill those things. Let's see it. Daniel. And DIY Frint. Welcome. Nice to see you guys. Hello, Mac. Jan. All right, Alex. Okay, that's enough. Nice to see all you. It's wonderful to have you here. So I got a question the other day, and let me just, you know what? Let me just pull it up, because I think probably a lot of people have been in a similar situation. This is, in fact, a gardening channel. Let me just read this here. So I got a comment on the blog. Recently, a little background here. My brother-in-law Justin, he married my sister Steph. They have a grocery row garden that they built up in Delaware, which I'm so proud of them because just because I'm in your family doesn't mean that you have to do what I'm doing or give me any credence or anything. You know, they say a prophet is without honor in his own country. And I was really, really honored that they decided to do an experimental garden and test the grocery row garden system in Delaware. Really, really useful to know, how it does in that climate and what plants they were going to put in it, etc. But they're already, they've become good gardeners over the years. My sister has gardened now, I think, for 6 or 7 years. But 6 or 7 years since she wrote a post on her gardening experiments in her first year's garden on my blog. And now 7 years later, her husband is heavily involved in it, and he's really gotten into taking care of fruit trees and growing different fruit trees in their yard. And they decided to try some in the grocery row garden. So he wrote this post on grocery row gardening in Delaware. And if you want to find it, it is on my site. Let me see if I can find. You know what? I'll just drop the link in for you, because you might find this interesting, particularly those of you that live further north and do not have, our borderline tropical climate down here. You can see what they're doing up there. So that is the post, grocery row gardening in Delaware. That's on the main blog. Grocery row gardening Delaware style, food when it counts. So he wrote this post on what he did and how they did it. Now, they are in zone 7. They have kind of sandy soil, a little bit of loam in it. It's not terrible. Their blueberries do well, so it's probably moderately acid. So underneath that, I think it was yesterday, I got a comment. And this may be where some of you guys are. This comment says, I would like to take steps in this direction, but feel stuck. My growing space consists entirely of horrible, horrible Piedmont clay. I've built raised beds, layered with lots of organic stuff, partly out of necessity and partly to improve the soil. But to my horror, I was moving soil recently and discovered that not only had the soil at the bottom of a bed not improved, but the red clay monster had seemed to grow and consume some of the soil I had brought in to use. There was more mud than before I built the beds. Drainage is an absolute disaster. Is a food forest hopeless in this scenario? The concept of planting in-ground seems impossible here. I also have a gently sloping space and was wondering if that should affect my attempts. So, here's a question. Can I garden under these conditions? And now I think that this goes back often to new gardening problems. Not to say that my writer was a new gardener necessarily, but new gardening problems in terms of, even if you were an established gardener and you know what you're doing, but you move and you have a different soil type or a different climate, a different slope, different sun exposure, you may have different pests. There's all kinds of different things, right? Even from year to year in a standard garden, there are different challenges. Some years you get a really late frost. Some years you get a really hot summer. Sometimes it's too dry. Sometimes it's too wet. Sometimes you get a big flood or a windstorm. Sometimes you just get the living tar beat out of your plants. We had a windstorm come through that was almost hurricane force winds earlier this year. And it blew all of my corn over, like blew it sideways and twirled it around. That sort of thing happens. So gardening is enough of a challenge already because you're dealing with dynamic, unpredictable systems. You are dealing with pests that show up different years. Some things migrate, some things move. Some diseases show up sometimes and don't other times. Sometimes we have years where we have all kinds of inclement weather, and other times you get years that are really mild. Sometimes you have winters that are so mild that your plants are not even sure if they're going to break dormancy, or they break dormancy early and they get their blooms frozen off. Things are changing all the time. So it's already complicated. But then you add in a problem like clay or beach sand, and it's rough. So beginning gardening problems, when you're beginning to try and figure out where are the edges, what is going to be average around here, what's going to be the worst thing I'm dealing with, you don't know. You know, it's swinging around. So our commenter, he said, okay, he's solving a problem here. He's got horrible Piedmont clay. So what does he do? He builds raised beds, and he layers with lots of organic stuff, partly out of necessity and partly to improve the soil. This is good. This is problem solving. So you say, okay, I've got a problem. I've got clay. It doesn't drain. It's really hard. It's horrible. So I'm going to build on top of it. It makes sense. Go up. Figure it out. But then he finds out, okay, well, it looks like the soil in the bottom of the bed is not getting better. The red clay monster is eating the soil that he had brought to use. Which means probably what's happening is stuff is draining through down to the bottom, disappearing. It's a problem. It's a lot of problems. So how do you deal with this? So can I grow a food forest? This is his question. This is really good. Can I grow a food forest, right? Okay, maybe he's having trouble with annuals. Can I grow a food forest? Let me tell you something. Trees are insanely resilient. Have you ever been driving along the side of the road in a rocky area and seen a cliffside with a tree growing out of it? Have you ever seen a tree growing out of cracks in an old bridge, like right out of the concrete or right out of the debris? You ever seen shots of those abandoned neighborhoods in Detroit, or the no-go zone around Chernobyl? And you see trees growing in places. You're like, how did that tree even grow there? I mean, if you have cracks in your sidewalk, trees will grow in them, and they'll take the sidewalk right out. Trees are not lettuces. Trees are not green beans. Trees are not even watermelons. Watermelons are vigorous, but they're not trees. Trees are in it for the long haul. Trees got some muscle. Trees got some incredible roots, and they are slow, and they are steady, and they are tough, and they are resilient. So the first question is, do trees grow in your area? I mean, unless you're like on a complete desert island that gets washed by the ocean, or if you're in the Arctic Circle, or if you're in some very dense like prairie land with frequent fires and browsing animals, etc., that take out trees. Do trees grow in your area? If you go downtown, are there street trees? Are there trees out back of your house? Is there a park with trees in it? If trees grow in your area, you can make a food forest in your area. So, trees are resilient. Now, of course, you've got to get it established somehow. But a food forest as a system is one of the easiest systems. It mimics where nature wants to go already in a lot of climates. Now, I'm sorry for those of you like in Arizona, right, where you may have it's not really a forest system in some areas. Depends on where you are in Arizona, but I spent some time around the Scottsdale area, and the plants and the widespread, water miser plants that grew didn't look like the dense greenery of Florida, or like the really, really beautiful woods of Tennessee. Tennessee has gorgeous woods. Tennessee woods put Alabama woods, southern Alabama at least, to shame. So, you're not gonna, that's not your ideal food forest climate, obviously. But I'll tell you what, you really can do a lot even in that climate, provided you put in those nitrogen fixing and nurse type trees to begin with. Go ahead and get some of those mesquites in there, or Jerusalem thorn. Get stuff in the ground that is going to make channels and pathways and is going to provide some shade. Because the worst thing is when you have absolutely no shade and you just have bare rocks. That's a very hard. Those are very hard conditions to get established and to begin with. You have to bring in resources in order to get started. You may have to bring in irrigation. You may have to trap by putting in swales. You may have to bring in organic matter. You might not even be able to establish a cover crop under that baking, those baking conditions. So, if you are in an area where trees grow normally, growing a food forest is about the easiest garden that you can grow. You can get a forest started in those climates simply by stopping mowing your lawn. If you stop mowing your lawn, the squirrels will plant it with hickory nuts and acorns. You might get little pine trees popping up. You might get some wild cherries from the birds or wild plums. Who knows? You get all kinds of stuff just popping up. It wants to become a forest. Nature's moving that way already. What it doesn't want to be is a field of lettuce. So the difficulty of some of these little plants that are very babied, very inbred, very high maintenance, very subject to squirrels and slugs and rabbits and all that kind of stuff. Some of those things just get torn up really fast. Trees tend to live through stuff. Even if a deer bites a tree back, often it'll come back again. So the food forest system, I would say, is that, if you can't grow anything, you can probably grow a tree still. So let's say we are gardening in that clay and it doesn't have any good drainage. That's a serious problem. So I did a whole post where I was writing about some of these things earlier today, and I was thinking, I really should just talk about it because I think it's really encouraging to know that there's something you can grow. There's almost always something you can grow, but trees are pretty easy. So the Piedmont Master Gardeners, remember he said he had nasty Piedmont clay. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna look up resources from his area. I found a Piedmont Master Gardener website. Modifying clay soils, quote, for vegetable gardens or flower beds is one thing. Tree and landscape planting, however, is more a matter of choosing plants that can do well in the native soil and planting them in a way that makes success most probable. The recommended way to plant a tree or shrub is a bit different for clay than for well-drained, looser soils. Prepare the plant. Step 1. Remove it from its container and, if, as is likely, its roots are curling around the root ball, cut the roots with a knife from top to bottom of the root ball every 4 to 6 inches. This releases the roots to grow out from the plant and prevents girdling problems after planting. This is not a bad thing to do anyways, but I do want to tell you, if you're going to try and plant a tree in the heat of summer, that the more damage you do to it, the roots, if it doesn't get a lot of water and everything, it has issues. I recommend going, planting in spring and fall and watering in really well. But I regularly, if I see a bunch of roots in a pot, I will slash through them with my machete, plant that tree. Give it a, that will actually, just like when you prune a branch, it makes more branches. You prune a root, it makes more roots. Don't worry about it. Don't slash it all to bits and cut all the roots off, but give it a little bit of damage and stop it from doing that circular thing. Particularly when you have a loose soil in a pot, and then you take that loose potted soil plant and put it into a hole in the ground of clay. That's rough. It doesn't want to push out of there and go into it. So you're kind of stimulating the root growth and going, go out. So Piedmont Master Gardeners, yes, good advice. 2, dig the hole just large and deep enough to fit the root ball. Use the existing natural soil for backfill without amendment. This is important too, right? So if you put in some manure in the hole, or you throw in some more potting soil, or you go buy a bag of black jungle organic potting garden mix, sustainably harvested coconut coir with electrolytes, right? The roots are going to want to stay in that and not go out into the soil. You want them to work a little harder. You want them to have to go out and get food. It's like a barn cat. If you feed the barn cat all the time, it's just going to sit on the back porch and get fat. If you don't give it a bunch of bagged, processed food, it's going to go hunt rats and mice. It's got it. It's hungry. You're hungry, it's going to go do something. But otherwise it's just going to sit around on your porch. Knock your wine glass over. So, backfilling with that native soil, right? It's gonna make it stronger. It's going to want to start to move into that native soil. It's got to go get what it's got to get. Having a consistent soil type will help the plant adapt and prevent the hole from becoming a water pool that is unable to drain into the surrounding clay. So as the roots push out of that clay and they move into it, they grab and they make channels through there, that also helps with the drainage because it pushes it apart. And now here's something you may not be familiar with. Point 3. Elevate the top of the root ball about 2 inches above the soil line. The water needs to drain away from the plant, again, to minimize pooling issues and prevent root rot. So if you have a plant down in a hole of clay and you've stuck it in there and it's filling full of water, it's going to drown the roots. That's no good. So you're putting it a little higher. It doesn't need, all the roots don't need to be out of the water. Some roots can be just sitting in water, it's fine. But not all roots. It will suffocate. It needs those roots to breathe properly. It has to have a little bit of drainage. So you're actually going to go a little higher. So let me thank for the 2 super chats here. Thank you very much. Carolyn Smith sends $10 for the greenhouse fund. Thank you very, very much. And Karen Hill sends $50. Thank you very much for the baby fund. Hey, maybe we'll have triplets. You put 3 baby emojis in there. That's awesome. Baby fund and a greenhouse fund. Maybe we could combine those 2 and have a natural birth in a greenhouse. That would be so natural. A greenhouse is not actually natural. Anyhow, that's enough of that. That's getting weird. So if you are putting a ball of roots down into a hole, fills full of water, drowns the tree, it dies. Now, we had this situation happen when we were borrowing a gardening lot for about a year and a half while we were renting. There was a building lot that was a couple of blocks from where we were renting an upstairs apartment. And we got permission to use it to clear a spot and put a garden in it, which was really nice. So we had a place to go and film and do gardening videos and that kind of thing. But it was rough. There was a lot of rough trees in there, like very thorny nitrogen-fixing trees. Man, it was a lot of, there was a lot of brambles and stuff we had to tear out. And then the ground was hard as a rock. It was this black clay, kind of like gumbo clay. Just black, gooey clay when it was wet. When it was dry, it was as hard as rocks and was almost completely undiggable, like pickaxe levels. So when it rained a little bit, the ground got soft, and we did some digging, and I planted a bunch of little papaya trees over there, and I thought, wouldn't it be great to have a bunch of papaya? So they did well. They got 3, 4, 5, 6 feet tall. They looked good. I thinned them out, let them grow. I planted them all over this lot. And then the rainy season really came in earnest. And when the rain really kicked in, they started dying. One after the other. They just started to wilt and fall over and rot. And I realized this is what's happening, is we do not have enough drainage here to keep them alive. Just doesn't work. Now, what we could have done, which would have kept that from happening, was instead of planting them at ground level, we could have made mounds 2 or 3 feet tall and planted on top of those mounds. And now the water goes down more to ground level, and there's still enough aerated soil above that level that the roots could have lived and we would have been okay. But we didn't know how bad the drainage was going to be until we got a few days worth of rain, and then it just sat and was muck for weeks afterwards. So, you know, if you think about that, how are trees growing in your area? They're growing from seed? Are they growing on higher spots? You know, do you have lower spots that just filled full of muck? You know, you've got to work with what you have, and that trick of planting your fruit tree a little higher is good. If you guys are subscribed to Scrubland Farms, Scrubland Farms. That is Sam Singleton. Let me see if I can do this. Scrub. I don't know what his name, like the actual @ is, but I'm gonna write it here. Scrubland Farms. He also has a Facebook page if you are on that for some reason. I have no idea why anybody would be on Facebook, but if you're on there, he has a good Facebook page. And he talked about how he plants trees without digging a hole. And I love it. It's really fun. So it's basically lasagna gardening, tree planting. Take the tree out of the pot, stick it on top of the ground, mound some compost around it, throw a bunch of organic matter around it, and if you're in a windy area, you just stick a stake next to the tree, and you just mound up to the base of the tree, throwing down all the organic matter you got to just kind of pin it in place. And he has done this a ton of times now, and he's got really successful tree plantings, and it surprises me to death. Like, you know, I've done vegetables that way. You know, make a lasagna garden, put some little pockets in it, and plant. But to do a tree that way, it's pretty funny, because he's actually mounding up organic matter, just piles of junk. You know, some compost, whatever you got. Pile it up, make a mound, and you've got the tree in the middle of the mound, and over time, all the roots come out of that root ball and it go down to the ground. And he says his trees grow faster and are happier like that because they've got all that good organic matter there already. So that's a thought. Of course, if you were someplace like, you know, that's windy, like Oklahoma. Somebody said you were from Oklahoma. There are areas that are quite windy all the time. You would have to really, you know, you'd have to fight. You'd have to get a sheltered location, put in a shelter belt, or, you know, stake those trees really, really good. Scrubland Farms, that's right. With a Z on the end. Farms. So, chances are you can grow a food forest. I'm going to post a video probably tomorrow where we're in our little food forest project, and I'm talking about kind of the easy, simple way to do food forests. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the more recent videos on food forests. They're very well produced and usually has a voiceover, and it's really emotional, and it's about like how beautiful the food forest was and how I wanted to fulfill my dreams. I wanted to fulfill my dreams of having a beautiful food forest. So I looked online, I gathered pictures, I created a food forest diary, and I studied all kinds of permaculture design principles. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could take this empty place and turn it into just a lush, meditative garden of Eden where we could be fed. And so I started drawing pictures. I drew all kinds of different pictures. I drew pictures, and I looked at lots of pictures, and I hired an architect, and we spent $15,000 to bring in some of the best organic soil that we could. We went on 15 shopping trips, and my dog helped a ton. No, but you look at some of it, and it's like when it starts to get into the complexity of the system, right? It's great to dream and it's great to plan. I guess I don't like to plan that much, but you know, you when the systems get so complicated on paper, you're trying to figure out which energies come through here, and how am I going to irrigate this, and if we bring this through and we do this and we plant this and we do this. That works for like the 5% of people that really, really like to plan stuff, and they like to spend 15 years drawing pictures. But for those of us that just ain't got time for that, you just go out there and you start planting things. Just start planting stuff. And cut down the stuff that doesn't work. You know, like I'm gonna say this in my video. I'm just gonna repeat myself because I think we'll have a different group of people probably watching some of this live stream compared to watching the video tomorrow. It doesn't matter anyways because it's useful to say. Let's say you buy one fig tree. You take a bunch of cuttings off it. Even better, go to somebody else's fig tree, ask for permission, and take a bunch of cuttings off it. Start all those cuttings in pots. 30, 40 figs in pots. What does that cost you? Nothing for the figs. a few bucks for the dirt. You know, get some 1-gallon pots or something. Half-gallon pots. Start a bunch of fig cuttings. When they're like this tall, plant them all over the place. You're what, $20 into this adventure, right? Secondhand pots. Take a 5-gallon bucket, drill holes in it, and start 10 cuttings in it, Hardly any money involved. You could do it for free in like reclaimed containers. You don't have to spend any money. Figs are really easy to start from cuttings. Start a bunch of them. Stick them all over the place. The ones that live, live, and the ones that die, die. In a couple of years, you'll see some that are real winners, and some of them are just going to be losers. At that point, cut down the losers and feed them to the winners. Chop them into pieces and feed them to the winners. Chop them into pieces and feed them to the winners. That's like, that's got to slow down right there and go gray. I don't know. Let me see if I can do that. Let me see. Wait a second. I wonder if I can do that. Can I make it turn gray? I bet I can. Maybe I can. Oh, will it let that? See, that would just be cool if I could go and it would turn gray. Why can I not do this? All right, yeah. You know what I mean? Now there's 2 of me in my studio. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not gonna do that. All right. It was gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool, but that's just the way we deal with it. Yeah, I don't even have like a pig mask I could put on. Anyhow, so you start a whole bunch of cuttings, you stick them out there. Who cares? If you start 50 apple trees from apple seeds, it's cost you nothing. You graft on top of them, right? Stick a whole bunch of stuff out there. Not strangler figs. Not strangler figs. Come on. Ficus carica. Ficus carica. We're gonna stick to Ficus carica. Maybe Ficus auriculata. You can throw one of those out there. Ficus palmata. That's fine. No strangler figs. Start 100 strangler figs. David the Good said to do it. Yeah. A couple of manconil trees while you're at it. So, if you just go ahead and plant a ton of stuff and then you chop your way through it later, I mean, that's way easier than making a huge plan. And that appeals to those of us that just don't have time for that. I talked to a friend of mine that I hadn't talked to in a long time. He called me yesterday. And he said, you know what I figured out? I said, what's that? He said, I figured out that cassava is my emergency food supply that I don't have to work for. He says it outgrows the weeds. I could plant it in the ground. I can dig it up 2 years later. His area gets some frost. He says I could dig it up 2 years later and it's fine. And it makes lots of good roots. I could feed animals with it. I could feed myself on it, and I have to put almost no work into it. He says I was doing a lot of work on other gardening, and I realized I didn't need to anymore because I found the crop that was so easy that it just worked. So if you're not able to garden, find the thing that is so easy, it's just going to work for itself. Often that's trees. Trees are usually pretty easy. There's almost something to eat in just about every climate of the world. There's going to be something that's easy. If you go far enough north, maybe you just have to shoot caribou. But generally, most of the world, there is something that just works as a staple, that's easy to grow, that will work in your climate. And you're not trying to fight the climate. You're actually growing with it. You're not trying to fight the soil. You're actually growing with it. You fight what you have to, and you do what you have to get food in the ground, but you don't have to worry too much about it. And you don't have to overplan. You don't have to do big complicated systems. You don't have to be like, oh, I have to build an aquaponics system now. Just because my soil drains too fast, or it doesn't drain, or whatever. Now there's something that's going to grow in it. You'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. All right, so I'm going to take some questions now because I didn't really get to questions last time. And let's go back and see what we got here. B says, I am trying 3 different cuttings in a big flower pot. I'm waiting to see which ones win. That's good. Chop them into pieces and feed them to the winners needs to be a shirt. That's good. Figs are very easy in zone. Usually 8, 9, 10. Vanita says, no space to plant, dude. Using sidewalk and driveway to put containers. Great. Do that. I mean, the point is that you're growing. You're doing fine. If you're growing, that's great. I've had to borrow land before when I needed it. You know, we prayed multiple times, like, Lord, we need a place to garden, and then, you know, things show up. But sometimes you just need to garden in containers. We've done that too. It's fine. The point is, you're gardening. You're doing it. You're not talking about it. You're doing it. Don't just talk about it. Don't spend all your time online. Go do it. Get something done. Yeah, I'd be happy to introduce you to Billy, Sean. Cutting a tree down is stupid expensive, and all I want is it down. I can do the rest. I'm trying to figure this out here. Oh, I wish I could find someone to cut my oaks down that just got destroyed last month from hurricane winds in North Missouri, so when I move my fruit trees this fall, it could flourish. It's sad. Yeah, you know, we had a big oak go down in the last windstorm that we had. It wasn't even a hurricane. It was just the one that knocked my corn over. And I would like to cut it up, but it's actually dangerous to cut it up. It's quite large. It's jammed into some other trees, and I don't want to climb a ladder with my little chainsaw to work on it. So it's just sitting there right now. I might get to it one day, or I might just leave it. By the way, Daisy is behind me. She is running the Good Gardens seed company. That is her seed company. That is not my seed company. So every once in a while I get people saying, hey, do you have this, and do you have this, and do you have this? It's not mine. It's hers. That is my daughter's business, and I promote it because I love her, and she does good work, and she has good seeds. And occasionally I have something to sell there, but I really haven't. Generally, I just let, she runs the whole thing herself, so I don't have anything to do with it other than I promote it because it's my daughter. So Sean says, that's Daisy. That's not your reflection with your long braid. Yeah, that's that's hilarious. Somebody said, a couple of people say thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Daisy. So she's got Everglades tomatoes, and she and Ezekiel package and sell the landrace watermelons that he's been working on. Sometimes she has things like canna roots and Tithonia diversifolia cuttings. Later in the year, she'll probably have sugarcane and cassava and some other things. But that's what I said, if you don't mind being in the background on the stream, she's got a lot of orders that she's got to fill. We have had problems though with the postal service. I mean, like taking 14 days to deliver something and then it being delivered all torn up. It happens. Sheila says, when do I plant the cassava I have growing in tote I got from you? You can plant, okay, if you're in a temperate climate, meaning that it's going to freeze in the winter, I would put it into a larger pot. I would keep it alive in a larger pot by bringing it in when it freezes in the winter and then plant it out in the spring. Sheila, by the way, it was really nice to meet you too. I'm just teasing you by yelling out your your all caps. I saw you! This time of year, it is kind of late to plant the cassava unless you're really going to get it watered and get it growing up pretty big and then protect it. Like you could mulch around it or put a ring around it if you wanted to plant it in the ground. It's not wrong to plant it in the ground now. It would probably grow really fast in the ground. It's just that the frost is coming soon and it's got to be pretty big and established to live through it. When we get our greenhouse, I'll be able to get them going earlier in the year, but this is the time of year that we can propagate them. Snack Safu says, hi David, tips for sandy soil food forest zone 4. Yeah, the first thing I would say is to see what kind of trees are growing around you. Are there apple orchards or pears? Is there a cranberry industry? Are people growing lingonberries there? What's the traditional things that people would grow? Are there nut trees? Different fruit trees? Edible shrubs, edible shrubs, shrubs. I don't know, so you start with what already grows there. What grows in your climate? Is there any agriculture around there? Start with that stuff, because that's the tried and true. And then put whatever strikes your fancy out there and see what lives. That's my recommendation. Sandy soil benefits from mulching after it has rained well. If you mulch before it rains well, you trap the dryness in the soil. That's not good. Wait until it rains really good. Throw a bunch of mulch on top of the ground. Take advantage of all the fall leaves that fall in Zone 4 and use that all over the food forest. Bring in as many bags of leaves as you can get. Get that cover on the ground. Get that life in there. Get all that fungi in there, and it'll make the trees grow faster. And then grow what likes your climate already. You could call the local extension office and say, are there any fruit trees you recommend for this area? That's a good start. The other thing is you're going to want to find the nitrogen fixing or biomass creating trees. Whatever weedy trees that you can grow there that you can chop up and make mulch out of and get those fast carbon pathways going. That's what you roll with. Jupiter says, any experience and tips for tropical almond location? Low maintenance, right? Oh yeah, they're super low maintenance. They will take dry areas. They will take wet areas. There's almost, so long as it doesn't freeze, tropical almond is like a weed. I planted a little seed that had a sprout on it about that big in my parents' yard, and it was a 20-foot tree in about 3 years. And it got to about 40 foot. The neighbor started complaining about it. I don't like this. I don't like that it has leaves. I don't like leaves. Leaves fall on my grass. The neighbor has like a yard that is just nothing but mowed, like, weedy grass. It's hot, it's dry, it's dead. And next door is our food forest, and he didn't like it at all, so eventually my mom cut it down. Very sad. But it's very low maintenance. You think he would have liked a little bit of shade, because it's just this baking hot block house in the middle of a dead zone. I don't know why people do that. Like, I just want grass. I don't want to look at a tree. I hate trees. Ugh. I always hire rednecks to cut my trees down. The last trees I had cut down, I had them cut down 3 trees. It cost me $200. They sent a guy up there with a rope with a chainsaw, and he sawed off some of the limbs, and then he just sawed through the bottom of it, dropped pieces all over the ground, and I just saw them cutting up stuff by the side of the road. It's like, hey, can I pay you to cut mine up too? They're like, yeah, we'll come over next. And they did it. Your mileage may vary. Let's see what we got here. Sandy soil with a good layer of compost and 2-inch layers of mulch on top of the compost. Excellent drainage and moisture retention. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, black walnut can be a pain. You bet, Snack Snafu. Yeah, plant compost. I'm David the Bad. Plant kudzu. Compost your friends. Wow. Acadian French Fry says, I feel like Daisy is immune to Dad's songs. She's yes, you get immune through repeated exposure. Plant mulberries, super easy, good idea. Willows around ponds equal endless chop and drop. That is true. Jacarandi says, I put down manure and grass clippings and my watermelon would put out 10 plus fruit, but after a while I only get 1 or 2. How can I keep the nutrients coming to keep them all without too much manure? Well, you know, they're draining, they're a heavy feeder, so they're draining the ground, they're draining the nutrients out of it, they're draining what you've got. So once that battery burns out, they often just don't do that hot unless you have deliberately bred them to be survivors. Like, you just save seeds from the ones that fruit with no manure, no fertilizer. You know, you just plant a whole bunch of them, and then the ones that live and manage to reproduce, you save seeds from those. You can breed a lower maintenance vegetable that way, but often your yields are not nearly as high. So it's a, you know, it's a trade. So you know, I think if you get healthy soil built up, you don't need to give it as much manure, but generally they're kind of like a Porsche. You know, it's like tomatoes. If they don't have the nutrients they need to run a foot of vines every single day, and then make 40-pound watermelons, if they don't have the nutrients to do it, they just can't run it. So we always throw down some dried cow manure in the fall, and then sometimes we bury it too in the hills, and then sometimes early spring again we'll throw manure on there if we have it, if we haven't got to it in the fall. Then when we plant watermelons a few months later, there's a lot of fertility there, and then they just take care of themselves. I don't bother watering them or anything. They just grow. Any tips on tamarind trees? Yes, they get very big, so plant them where you want them. I think it makes sense to plant them when they're small, so they get a really good strong root system early on. Don't go buy the biggest tamarind you can get. Put a smaller one in. Just get it watered in well. I put some mulch around it, and that's fine. The seed store, I put a link to it already. It is Etsy Good Gardens on Etsy. She does have Everglades tomato seeds, plenty of them right now. They tend to sell out sometimes, so grab them when you can get them. I do not know if you cut the tomato flowers if you will make more flowers. I do know if you prune the center of it, you can get more branches. But generally what people try to do with tomatoes is the opposite. They actually tend to prune more of the side shoots in order to concentrate the growth into larger tomatoes on smaller amounts of blooms. Tim says, I have a monster pecan tree and a huge elm. I can't wait until they drop some leaves for me. Yeah, the pecan tree does have a little bit of jugalone in it, you know, so that is a toxin that's allelopathic. I used it as a mulch in the food forest and in the grocery row gardens. I threw it in the grocery row gardens. It didn't seem to make any difference on the plants. I threw it over all the pathways and it didn't matter. I don't think it's nearly as big a problem as black walnut, but somebody's bound to say it's got jugalone in it, so maybe. The elm leaves are actually really good compost. Very, very good. Watermelon's hungry for more food. Yep, it just keeps going. Tim says, I'm growing my watermelons in a melon pit, and they are growing like crazy right now. If you don't know the melon pit thing, that is from the book Compost Everything, The Good Guide to Extreme Composting. Throw all the gross stuff, bury it, throw it in a hole, bury it, plant on top of it, and stuff just grows like nuts. It's awesome. Alex says, loquats make a great quick-growing evergreen fence and hedge. Oh, yeah, they grow very fast from seed, too, Alex. It's like they just get started, and then if they're watered well, suddenly they just shoot. Rosehaven says, we bury the old hens that die. The corn is awesome this year. It does help. A lot. M. Knapp says, I'm starting my fall garden in Zone 9B in containers on pavers. Is it too early to start seeds? Can't find decent timetables. You know what? I don't know if you're in Florida or not, but look up the University of Florida Vegetable Gardening Guide, which covers Zone 9B. It may probably work for your area too. It gives all the time charts. It's not too early to start seeds. You could start peppers and tomatoes now. I would put them in a little bit of shade and get them started. It's a little hot, but in our sunshine, full sun is more than full sun. You don't need full sun. Yeah, and to those of you, Karen says, welcome everyone to the D to the Chi chat. I'm glad you guys are here too. Thank you, Karen. And if you don't know this channel, welcome. It's nice to have you here. We do live streams every once in a while. I used to do a ton of live streams, and then I just didn't anymore. So no explanations. Not doing explanations. I don't even know. What about comfrey? Dan says. It's just so. Sea Solar says, good evening, sir. Glad to know your brother is doing well. Godspeed. My brother is recovering from heart surgery right now. It's my brother Brian, which at the Flannel Farms YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to Flannel Farms, somebody can post the link to Flannel Farms down there. One of my moderators, I'd appreciate that. Flannel Farms. He had a valve just giving up on his heart, and he's always been fit. He eats well. He doesn't even drink. I mean, he's like Mr. Fit, and is a firefighter. I am wearing his shirt today as I've been praying for him and remembering him. I also very nicely brushed my hair today, and so it looks more like his. My brother has very pretty hair, but he was getting the living tar beat out of him by this heart thing. It was messing with his liver, messing with his kidneys, because it was tearing up the blood cells, not passing through properly. The tendons were giving up inside of his heart because his heart had been bulging, and then it got pulled back. It started to restrict again, and it's been beating him up. I've never seen him look so just rough and beat. He was always better looking than me, and often more vigorous, healthier. Like he's just made of good, strong stock. And man, it's been rough to watch him. But thank you all for the prayers. I've been trying to update people as we have info. He's been in pain today. I have not heard from him, but I've heard from his wife via my mom, who is there with them. His wife is able to stay with him, go back and forth to the hospital. He's got to be there for a few days, but it's wiping him out, very painful. So yeah, just keep praying for Brian. I'm so glad that he came out. I was so just out of it. Well, I knew he was laying on the table, getting his chest cut open and operated on for 5 hours. I just couldn't even imagine. We're almost exactly 3 years apart in age, and we've always been close. So yeah. Yeah, he is in Virginia. So thank you all for the prayers. I appreciate that. It was weird. It was a genetic defect. Like, this thing had been sticking around for a really long time, and he was like not having enough energy, and he went in for a physical. He's like, "What's wrong with me?" And they're like, "Your heart is bulging around that valve. This is bad." So that's scary. Hey, Bama Gardner. Man, good to see you. Glad you're here. Hey, Leo. Leo sends a super chat. So glad Brian is doing well. Thanks for the sale last Saturday. The sun hemp seeds are already sprouting and about 1 inch tall. Just a few days. Keep praying for Brian. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. That sun hemp is so much fun to grow. It's like a weed. So we had a plant sale on Saturday for the nursery. I have a little plant nursery. My daughter has a little seed store. It's a family business sort of a thing. And some of my kids came and they regularly help. My eldest son works in the nursery with me. And so Leo said he was coming a long ways, actually. He was quite a ways away from where we set up the sale. And he came over, so I brought him I have way too many sun hemp seeds right now, so I brought him like a bucket's worth of them. Retired senior chief, nice to see you, man. It's been a long time. How about some biscuits? Get up in the morning time, making biscuits. Get up in the middle of the noonday, biscuits. Get up in the afternoon, making biscuits. Get up in the middle of the noonday, biscuits. B-I-S-C-L-I-T. I can't do it. I can't remember the chord progression. It's been too long. Let's demonetize this. It's been too long. I can't even sing biscuits. can't even sing Biscuits. Here we go. I hurt myself today. That's terrible. I can't sing it though. See if I still feel. Where does it go? Will I focus on the pain? There it is. The only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole. The old familiar sting tried to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. Yeah, I can't sing that song, but that's what I feel like when I don't remember the Biscuit song. So it's like a chain reaction. So I feel like singing Johnny Cash's "Hurt" badly when I can't do the Biscuit song. There, so that's it. I'm glad that I kind of figured out what my thought process was on that. They did not have to do the repair. They did not have to do a replacement of the valve. They had to only repair it. So praise God for that. That's a big deal. Oh, Tim says my brother lost a leg in a terrible motorcycle accident several years ago. It was so tough to see him wasting away. I'm sorry, I lost my comment really. Wasting away in a coma in the ICU. It's so hard to see loved ones struggling. It really is. Like you wish you could take it on yourself, you know. But we all have our own suffering that we are supposed to go through for our own edification, or for purposes that we don't understand, you know, to help somebody else sometimes. It's so hard to say. I have heard of some of the other capsicum species, but I haven't messed with them. It would be interesting. I'm kind of nerdy about that sort of thing. Like I would love to see them growing, but I have done some things with like getting rare plants and trying them and just killing them. So I'm trying not to pay attention. I'm on a plant fast. Try not to accumulate too many plants right now. How long have I been playing guitar? I started playing guitar when I was 18, so 26 years. I hurt Biscuits today to see if I could take gluten. It's terrible. Well, I'm going here. I'm trying to find this. That's terrible. It's terrible. Don't even say that it's good. It's not good. It was so sad when Johnny covered it, and it's just pathetic when you covered it. Yeah. It's a serious problem. Plant addiction is a serious problem. It really is. I'm gonna find a song to sing for you guys. I'm done. I'm done like being reasonable. Let me see if I can find a song here. Buried my rabbit beneath the cherry tree one fine afternoon. Someday I know that we'll meet again on a fruit salad spoon. Laid my hamster to rest last night beneath the pumpkin vine. Someday I know that we'll meet again in a Thanksgiving pie. If it dies when it's at my house, it'll end up in the soil. My trees are all fed by pets, shuffling off this mortal coil. Put my puppy beneath the garden bed one early winter morn. One day I know that we'll meet again in a lovely row of corn. If it dies when it's at my house, it'll end up in the soil. My trees are all fed by pets, shuffling off this mortal coil. Laid the taxman to rest last night beneath the money tree. I know that we'll never meet again, 'cause he won't be in heaven with me. If it dies when it's at my house, it'll end up in the soil. My trees are all fed by pets, shuffling off this mortal coil. Buried my rabbit beneath the cherry tree one fine afternoon. Someday I know that we'll meet again on a fruit salad spoon. I don't know any Taylor Swift songs. I don't know the song Taylor Swift Red. I don't know that. Daisy does not like to sing. She is not a singer. Now, my eldest can sing very well. Daisy has never really been... She could sing, but she's just not really a singer. Maybe the bad dark side. Busy Girl says, I have a Z-word plant that is producing like crazy, but the leaves keep turning yellow. What should I feed it? You should chop it up and feed it to something else. And you shouldn't eat those. Those are not a food, Busy Girl. That is not a food. Compost it. I recommend putting a whole pile of cardboard over the top of it. You know what's really funny? I used to do this back in the day, back when we all had fun together, back in the good old days. I have to find this. I have to find this. I'm gonna do something funny. I'm gonna get us demonetized. I have to. I almost any grunge song is really excellent when it's turned into a bossa nova. Love and hate, get it wrong. She caught me right back down beside. Sleep the day, let it fade. Who was there to take your place? No one knows and never will. Mostly me, mostly you. What do you say? What do you do when it all comes down? 'Cause I don't wanna come back down from this cloud. Taking me all this time to find out what I need. Yeah, yeah. less complain. The more I come and the more I try. All police or paranoid. So am I, so's the future. So are you to be a creature. What do you say, what do you do when it all comes down? 'Cause I don't wanna come back down from this cloud. It's taken me all this time to find out what I need. I mean, it's good. It works. I mean, you can do it with, well, what else can we do it with? Let's see. 1 second. You kind of make it, fun. Cheer you up a little bit. Take a song about, like, heroin addiction and just make it like a fun beach song. It's really similar. I'm gonna find it. Everything's running so slow right now. Why is it running slow? Here we go. There we go. You know when you sing songs it demonetizes you? You sing songs by other people. So I have to write everything for my Yeah, here we go. Here they come to snuff the rooster. Yeah, they come to rooster. Yeah, you know he ain't gone to die. I ain't found a way to kill me yet. Eyes are burning with stinging sweat. Oh my gosh. I was listening to Stan Getz today. I think it got me back in this. I really shouldn't. I need a Getz sabbatical. Thanks. Tip for good, David the Good Son. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Rosehaven, thank you very much. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. We'll sing for super chats. Thank you, Amanda Chow. Nice to see you. That Caribbean version, I do have a little bit of Caribbean mixed in here. A gardener would cover a group named Bush. You get it, Carl. You know that song. I don't know if I know any Dave Matthews Band songs. Oh. Stone Temple Pilots. Yeah. Man. Getting into my territory. And it's got to be like the only hit single, right? That's like the one I got to do. Where is it? There it is. Goodbye. Leaving on a southern train only yesterday. You lie, promises of what I seem to be. Only watch time go by. All those things that I said to you. Man, it's so good, but you need a whole band for that to really be cool. Sting, there you go. Yeah. Somewhere in there. Ding, 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 ding. In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida is actually in the Garden of Eden, but the singer was so drunk it came out sounding like When I Get It. Yeah, that makes sense. There it is. Wake up in the morning time, making biscuits. Wake up in the middle of noonday, biscuits. Wake up in the afternoon, making biscuits. Get up in the middle of the nighttime, biscuits. B-I-S-B-I-S-C-U-I-T. Here's to you, retired senior chief. I said B-I-S-C-U-I-T. Here's to you, retired senior chief. I said biscuits. Biscuits. Get up in the morning time, making biscuits. Get up in the middle of the noon, make biscuits. Get up in the afternoon, making biscuits. Get up in the middle of the nighttime, biscuits. B-I-S-C-U-I-T. Here's to you, retired senior chief. B-I-S-C-U-I-T. Here's to you, retired senior chief. I said biscuits, 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 biscuits. Libby, I'm glad you appreciate that song. It's been a while since I played it. Oh, Hunger Strike. Whoa. I wonder if I could sing that one. It's hard if I haven't heard the song in a while to just like figure out what the vocals are. Let me see if I can figure it out. Table, the fire is cooking, and the fine babies, the slaves are all working, but I'm going hungry. Yeah. I'm going hungry. There it is. I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence. I can't feed on the powerless when my cup's already overfilled. But it's on the table, the fire is cooking, and the firemen babies, the slaves are working. But it's on the table, and the mouths are choking, but I'm going hungry. I'm going hungry. Well, I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence. Well, I can't feed on the powerless when my cup's already overfilled. There it is. And I'm I'm going hungry. I'm going hungry. I'm going hungry. I'm going hungry. It's pretty close, pretty close. Thank you very much, Bell, for the super chat. Chris Cornell is unbelievable. Something in the back of the truck. Yes, that's the one I started with. Yeah, I mean, some of the backgrounds on it are just unbelievable. I can't do it. I don't have a voice like that. Let's see. I will sing 30,000 if. Yeah, I'll do that. Let me find it. I'll try to do it. I may not have the. I still don't have it all the way memorized. Can you believe it? How many times have I sung that song? Problem is, I start it and then I don't sing it, and then I sing it and I forget it. Somewhere beneath the ice, somewhere cold and deep, that's where we found it. Sleeping through the years, we brought it to the night and took it home. Look at me, flowers on her way, dropped a posy in the grass, lost in the moonlight for an age or two. Look at me, Mom, I'm doing science. Look at me, Mom, see it. Sometimes science lets you down, lets you down. Sometimes science lets you down, puts you into the ground. Sometimes science lets you down. Down, down, down. Sometimes science lets Hey, has science let you down? Talk to your doctor about science. Oh, I don't know shadow stabbing. I've been working on that chord progression. I just tacked that on the end of the song there just to remind myself that I need to work on that chord progression. I have another song that I was writing. I was cleaning out a closet in our house, and I was thinking we could just put a bunch of like the long rifles and stuff in there, like a bunch of shotguns. We could fill that gun full of shotguns. That would be like that closet could just be full of shotguns. But then I was also thinking about, like, sometimes, like, I went to an Orthodox church, and the Orthodox often set aside a part of their house to pray in. And now you've probably heard of the idea of a prayer closet, like a place that you go away from the craziness of life. You lock yourself in the closet and you go pray to God, like you and God alone, wrestling, thinking about things, praying in the closet. But I was thinking, I can't decide if I want it. Like, it would be kind of cool to have a little closet that you just kind of, you could just disappear into the closet and pray. But also I wanted to fill the whole closet full of guns. I like to pray in my gun closet. I like to pray to the Lord. I like to pray to his mama. Wait a second, here we go. Wait a second. No, I almost got it. I like to pray in my gun closet. I like to pray to the Lord. I like to pray to his mama, my papa, and Henry Ford. Got a gun rack on my John Deere from a AR-15. Like to go down to Chick-fil-A and get some, something like that, right? Like to pray in my gun closet. Like to pray to the Lord. Like to pray to his mama, my papa, and Henry Ford. Yeah, so I was reading on the Catholic doctrine and the Orthodox doctrine that you can pray to the saints because the saints are not dead, which I thought, this is utterly fascinating. Like, you can just, any one of the saints you want to, you can talk to, but I was thinking it would kind of be fun to throw Henry Ford in there, but I don't know that he made it, you know what I mean? He's definitely not like a saint on any liturgical calendar, I know, but it's funny. Like, if you were a Catholic or Orthodox and you were living in the South and you have a closet full of guns, like, who would you pray to? You pray to to God, to God's mom, Mary, right? And then you might just throw in Henry Ford. I don't know, but yeah. I love that. I went to an Orthodox church. It was unbelievable. It was so cool. So, the Orthodox have the idea that your church sanctuary, you are in communion with the saints all through history and with the angels above in the throne room of heaven. And it's very obvious. They've got all the angels and the saints and everything painted all around you. So it's like you have this huge cloud of witnesses around you, and the vocal harmonies and the chant and the incense and everything. It's like being in heaven. It's beautiful, really beautiful. And we found very similar in the Latin Mass. The artwork is different. I think the Orthodox has a more kind of an alien approach to the way they do art, whereas the Catholic art is more naturalistic. But the Latin Mass services with the chants and all the singing and everything is just incredibly beautiful, and all the old prayers that they go through during the service, and the idea that you're kind of joining in this congregation that goes back to the beginning of time and beyond. I found it quite fascinating. Very, from my Puritan Yankee roots, very alien to me, but very beautiful. So, quite interesting. So, I heard the sky is falling, so I'm having a party. Sure. Carl says, yeah, Catholic Orthodox art and architecture is meant to blow your mind with aesthetics. It's really awesome. Truly is. Like the, wow. It's transcendent. Like churches that were built to last 200 years. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, right. You join the saints at the communion rail. You are in communion with those that went before you, because nobody really died. Their souls have continued before you. It's pretty cool. It's beautiful. Something I never really thought about. So anyhow, yeah, I know you're gonna get in trouble now. So. Hey, want to be on a live stream? You have no shirt on. What are you doing?
I just took my Charlie Brown shirt off. Should I come on as Charlie Brown? I can plug the show.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Oh my gosh. My son just came to the edge to say hi. Came to the door. He's getting a shirt on. It's amazing. My brother is doing well. He's recovering. He's in a lot of pain. But he's doing all right. Sophie says, "Who is this wanderer? What is he doing in this field? Why does he wear a stupid hat? Why can you even... Who can even answer that? I wound up on the weird part of YouTube again." So we have Charlie Brown with us right now.
Truly.
Honest to goodness. This is not lined up to this.
The real Charlie Brown.
The real Charlie Brown.
See the stripes? See the stripes? Registered trademark of Disney Corporation, probably.
Oh no. So, are you really want to talk? You really want to invite
the entire internet?
You want to invite the entire internet to this?
Maybe not. Please don't stop me.
So we've been trying to sing some grunge songs, but you're probably better at it than I am. Is there one you want to sing?
Yes. Hunger Strike?
I tried.
Oh.
I tried.
Let's see. Wait, scroll up so I can see the tab.
Oh, you can actually play it right?
I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence. Hey! But I can't feed on the palace when my cup's already overfilled. But it's on the table, the fire's cooking, and the farming babe.
Slaves are all working!
Alright, grunge is really special because they act all depressed and stuff, and then they've got the most goofy lyrics you've ever heard.
Okay, so you got one you want to sing?
Let me think.
It's gotta be something by Eddie Vedder.
Oh yeah, Alive. I wonder if I could.
Are you serious?
I can do it. I bet I can. I can't do Yellow Lead Better. I mean, maybe I could.
You couldn't even do it. It's always like version 2 that's the best. Oh, they have the ukulele.
Oh my goodness. What is that chord? I'll remember that real quick so I can see what chord.
Wait a
All
minute.
strings open.
All strings open with the... There it is.
Song, she said. I've got a little story for you. You thought I was your daddy, but wow, you were sitting home alone at age 13. Granddaddy was dying. Sorry you didn't see him, but I'm glad we talked. Oh, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Oh, I'm
I really want to do this. It's getting weird. I hope that was helpful. Was that edifying, guys? Thank God Eddie is still alive.
He's the only one.
The only one. What is the Yam song?
Yellow Ledbetter?
Yellow Ledbetter would be funny. I think Grandma called this caterwauling. We haven't even started drinking yet, for goodness sakes. Even flow.
Oh, I wonder. I did that song one time. I think I got kicked out of the party, but
You did get kicked out. That was the one that probably got.
You know, don't sing Even Flow at full volume at Grandma's house.
Even your grandma doesn't want you to hear it.
Do you have a pick?
No, somebody took them all out of my guitar case.
Gosh, who else plays guitar in this house? Oh.
Oh. Familiar, oh yeah, oh dark gray, you can never have a great sunset, oh yeah, an even flow, that's a right by place, oh he all knows. Looking through the paper, it doesn't matter. On his way. Even flow. There we go. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Now we are down to 201 viewers. You guys, I can't believe 201 viewers just watched that. I'm so unapologetic. Chopping broccoli! Yay! It's hilarious. Oh, you can totally take the lead. You're killing my cat. What do you got to sing?
Let me think. I'm trying to remember one song that I'm actually
Like one that you're really good at.
Oh no.
Come on. It's so good.
I'm pretty good at Credence. Credence is not bad. but
Do you need the chords? Probably not.
let me think. Fortunate Son I need the chords for. Put on my talented guitar player glasses.
You look
You know
like, now it's like Weezer.
Or Wheatus. I'm just a teenage dirtbag. Okay, anyway.
Here we go.
I did that on purpose.
That was perfect. That was, yeah.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag, but they're red, white, and blue. And when the band plays "Hail to the Chief," oh, that point the cannon at you. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no senator, son. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one, no. Some folks are born silver spoon in hand, Lord, don't they help themselves, yeah. But when a taxman comes to the door, oh, the house looking like a rummage sale, yeah. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no millionaire, son, no. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one, no. Clever interlude. To give the lead singer, you know, time to breathe, you know, so some folks inherit star-spangled eyes. Oh, they send you down the wall.
Oh.
But when you ask them, how much should we give? Oh, the answer is more, yeah. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no military son. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one, no. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate son.
I bet Eddie Vedder can sing that too.
Or, some folks are born made to wave the flag.
Lord, don't they help themselves?
Lord, I'll say, far out.
Far out. All right, guys, we're gonna call it. Clarence Clearwater. That's so terrible. Another anti-war song turned pro-war anthem somehow.
Born in the USA, yep, that's right.
Yeah. Under Pressure, Bowie and Mercury.
Pressure! Pushing down on you!
That was like that's too much. Like, it's too much.
Turn away from the now.
Oh, that's not even a song. Anyhow, we're gonna call it. You all have a good night. Unless you have another song you gotta do before we go.
Let me think.
It's not gonna work. We're not gonna get to leave. Ice Ice Baby was a better song than Under Pressure.
Somebody's saying welcome to the
Change my mind.
jungle. I can't.
No.
Do you have any idea how
He's got-
stringent the
He's got to. He's. My son has to sing professionally. If he has to sing that song, it's gonna destroy his voice.
That's true.
We're not gonna do that. That's it.
I mean, is there another 90s song?
Oh,
that
no.
isn't
Bill
this-
Withers, man. We need something by Bill Withers.
Ain't no
I wanna do it.
sunshine when she's gone.
That's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. I love this song.
Ooh, lovely day. You got the wrong
Think you can
version.
play it. Is it the wrong version?
It's got less ratings. I can't remember this song.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sun, it hurts my eyes. Something without warning, love, weighs heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, ooh, and the whole world seems alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. A lovely day. A lovely day. A lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me. Where did I go?
Seems impossible
To face. When someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. Then I look at you, and the whole world seems alright with me. Just one look at you, I know it's gonna be a lovely day. Sorry, I jumped.
Lovely day.
Oh,
Lovely day.
lovely day. I know. We just
Lovely day.
totally mangled that. I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry,
guys.
Bill
Sorry.
Withers.
Sorry. We should have stopped 2 hours ago.
It's only been going for an hour and 45 minutes.
Should have stopped before it started. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Civil War by Guns N' Roses. Thank you, Belle.
I never heard that song, and I don't like Guns N' Roses. I'm sorry, Axl Rose.
It's
don't-
not about the guns. It's just that roses are like.
Amazing Grace, the
girly.
tune of Gilligan's Island. I can do you one better, Axl. Do you know any Slayer? No.
I met a couple of Slayers.
Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. It was grace that taught my heart to sing, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, trials, and snares, I have already come. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to sing, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years,
All right, God bless you all. Have a good evening. Keep praying for my brother who is recovering from open heart surgery. If you wanted to find stuff about gardening, look at the first hour of this stream, not the second hour. Have a great night. Thank you all for the super chats. Thank you to the good gardeners who are members, subscribers, actual getting to use machetes in the emojis and stuff. It's cool. God bless you all. Have a great night. I should be getting a video out tomorrow. Until then, may your thumbs always be green.